This Thursday night football props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code SGPN on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app and use promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the underdog pick 'em in college or NFL. Win up to 20x in one game. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Got my Blue Bomber shirt on.
Oh,
ready
yeah.
to talk some Canadian football today, Sean. Hey.
Now is that you? Are you already opting out of the
No.
Giants season?
Minnesota Vikings. Come on.
Okay.
Canada's second favorite team.
Oh man, we got a great show for
How
you.
dare you accuse me of checking out of the National Football League?
Well, no, I mean not.
I'm sorry. You 2-0 in your locks?
No, I'm not.
Asterisk 3-0 in my locks because you somehow convinced me to take one off my card.
I did not convince you, Ryan.
All right, you
And
know what?
I wish I had that power over you to
If you
decide what your bets are going to be.
If you listened last week, you tell me what you heard.
I said, "Are you sure about that?" And then you got in your own head and were
No.
like,
I tried to put it on the card.
I was trying to give you a confidence check, like a good friend.
Jesus.
Much like when I said your take about Jalen Carter is going to be ice cold. Now I was telling you as a friend, stand down because he is a
Dog.
DA.
Relax.
WG and DOG.
Did he even play half the snaps? Come on.
He played really well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Him and Jordan Davis. You lit
Zoom
a
out.
fire.
Zoom
You lit a
out.
fire against all the Georgia dogs. Hey, we got a great show. We're going to be talking Thursday night props. We're going to be joined by Sean Brace from Fox PHL Gambler in just a little bit there, and then talk with the founder of ProphetExchange after that. Tons of player props, first touchdown. There is just a ton to get to on this episode. Before we get to anything, we have to do this week's edition of Real Men of Degens.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degens. Real Men of Degens. We salute you.
Jack's American Pub. That's right, a bar in Milwaukee. Trying to throw a little shade on old Aaron Rodgers. They offered a promo that, hey, the Jets lose, drinks on the house. So of course, after Aaron Rodgers goes down, all these guys and gals in Wisconsin start getting hammered and start racking up an insane tab. And oh man, what
It must have been like
what a way to lose. I mean, you must just been thinking like, oh, Zach Wilson's in the game, hammer it. And then they got hammered, and then they had to pay their massive tabs.
It did seem
Shout
like
out to you, Jack's American Pub. We have to, Ryan. We have to get this going in more sports bars in America. If we ever open a restaurant, you should be able to bet your entire tab on the outcome, odd, even points, over, under, and just let it ride. I mean,
we got
really
hit with some sharps. We're gonna be out a couple burgers. Look,
guys took us for 6 dozen onion rings.
there were some sad people in the room, and
It was so funny.
We've heard this sound before. It's the sound of Cousin Mush from across the Westgate Theater.
Oh, when Cousin Mush was
Oh,
on
it's done. I'm in. The second you actually
Cousin Mush being on the Steelers was just the mushiest mush of all mushes.
Mush is doing all right. He's decent start to the season.
Yeah, you guys are doing okay in your circa millions.
That's the sound that everyone in that bar heard. They're celebrating. They're like, "Give me the top shelf stuff."
Oh man. Yeah, no.
How much money you think that? What kind of swing you think we're thinking?
Well, because think about it. If you're there getting drunk
6
and
figures?
then you see Zach Wilson goes out, you are pushing that bar tab. Well, it also is a bar in Wisconsin, so the beers are probably like $275 a piece. So we're probably talking about like $300.
It must have been a tough situation for those Packers fans.
Yes. All right, we got
fucked by Aaron Rodgers again.
Oh, but they got to be feeling good. We got rid of Aaron Rodgers at the right time. Well, you can't bet on Aaron Rodgers anymore, but there's a ton of football to get down on, including all the Thursday night props we're going to be talking about here in just a little bit. Download that DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code SGP. Bet $5 on football. Easy enough. Get $200 in bonus bets. Are you kidding me? So many ways to score over on the DraftKings Sportsbook. I mean, it is just shout out to Ryan and I. We got that Tyler Algier that Ryan pitched to the audience, leading the NFC South in rush yards, currently in first place. No way we're jinxing that. Shout out to you, DraftKings. 50-1 for offering that market. Get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use code SGP to sign up. New customers can bet just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. The crowd is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. And of course, we are going to be getting down a little underdog pick'em. Again, use that promo code SGPN, 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Very fun. And if you haven't played, obviously they got college pick'em, they got NFL pick'em, baseball if you're still watching that. But also they have as well. They have live pick'ems, which is just if you're looking. Let's say you get in on Thursday night, maybe you missed the kickoff. You're looking to hop in. The underdog live pick'ems are an incredible sweat and highly recommend it to the DegensOnly crowd. And the underdog definitely doesn't have the script prop of Thursday Night Football is Jalen Hurts to get over that. They are offering the bonus. The hurdle seems so high after Aaron Rodgers failed to get over the half yard. Will he cover the half passing yard? I'm optimistic we get a bounce back game. Jalen Hurts statistically, and he covers the half passing yard. Joining us on the show, you know him from Fox Gambler.com, Mr. Sean Brace. What's happening, Sean?
Gentlemen, hopefully you can hear me. How am I sounding?
You're sounding great, like a real radio pro. Just hopping on right in there. So it's got to be awesome. You're doing the sports gambling content name. You're an Eagles fan. You're also named Sean. Living the dream, right?
Amen, man. Amen. We're just hanging out here in Philly. Hopefully we can connect. We can capture this guy who escaped from jail 12 days ago. I mean, this is just the story of the Delaware Valley right now. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to this out in Vegas.
I did see someone was responding to the tweet that the guy who escaped, somehow they realized he got behind the police barriers, and they said they claim they got him right where they want him, which was just an all-time optimistic take. That all right, he escaped the dragnet, but now we got a good handle on him. Over under, what do you like better, them to catch this escaped convict or Jalen Hurts to hit his over half passing yards?
I'm definitely going to go with Hurts on this one.
Yes,
I do believe, though, if they offered anybody season tickets to the Birds, if we capture this guy, I'm telling you, he would have been captured last week. All right. It's crazy.
That's a great bounty.
Yes, exactly.
This guy's like a ghost. He's a ghost. He might be dressed up as a cop right now. Like, this is how crazy it is. It's just ludicrous. He's still out there disappearing in the middle of the night, taking on a shotgun. A guy peeled off 7 caps at him, missed him on all 7 shots. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, you know that guy was dreaming of that opportunity too, and he
Oh, yes.
completely just
Finally, an
fucked it.
escape. You're sitting on your gun your entire life, and then the escape convict comes by. You go, "Oh man, this is what I've been waiting for."
Honey, hold on.
Well, and maybe this guy was wearing a Dallas Goddard jersey, because completely missing as Goddard was in that last game. Any thoughts on the Eagles 25-20 victory? I know, getting the Philly pulse, it seems like people are upset. I had to keep reminding my buddies, we won the game. We covered the spread. I understand the offense looked out of rhythm. There's some concerns with the defense, a couple injuries, which we'll get into when we talk the pick'em here. But big picture, what's your take on the Birds 1-0 right now?
We're miserable in this city. You know that. I mean, if you go back and look at the 2017 Super Bowl, I'll guarantee somebody wrote something about giving up 500 plus yards to Tom Brady in that game. Anyways, look, it was game one. Speaking of Brady and the Patriots, and you gave Bill Belichick 4 months to prepare, right?
Yeah.
What they threw at him was clearly something that they weren't prepared for. You got two new coordinators. I know that Nick Sirianni talked about playing players in preseason, and I kind of wish he did. I know you got to roll the dice because you don't want players getting injured, but bottom line is you got 2 new coordinators. So I felt like they needed to test drive, the Ferrari a few times as well. That might have helped out. But like you said, they won 25 and they covered. So everybody on to the next one, right?
We were out in Vegas. I was watching at the Westgate Theater, which is just like an awesome place to watch with a bunch of people. And if you've never had that experience of the live sportsbook sweat, it really adds something to it. We were talking,
and if I may add, there was also the perfect kind of person rooting for the Patriots, where it was like someone was going to be chirping off real loud, whether it was Sean or this guy. But there's
a guy behind me that kept yelling like, "Get that stop! Get that stop!"
I even sensed it to the point where I was like, "I'm going to back away from this situation just in case things escalate. I don't want to be right next to Sean in between this guy who keeps coming up way too close to him to talk shit."
He was pushing it. The great sportsbook moment though was when Mike Vrabel, down 4 points, kicked the field goal, helped cash my Tennessee +3, but the sportsbook erupted, just going nuts, and just kind of lighting it up. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk a little first touchdown, then we'll talk some underdog pick'ems. I'll kick things off here. First touchdown. Obviously, I do not have a Minnesota Viking in my little kitty here.
Look at you.
I will go Dallas Goddard. Now, Goddard right now is 13-1. Usually, I don't go that small with the first touchdown. I like to sprinkle a couple long shots, but the fact that they're just going out of their way to force feed him, which I think they will. I mean, we saw this last year where, Devonta Smith had 0 receptions and then came back with the big game against the Vikings. Similar kind of situation here. Rashad Penny, which I was letting people know early. DraftKings had it at 30-1, and I said, get this now because it looks like Kenny Gainwell, there's a decent chance he's going to be out. Play the Rashad Penny first touchdown, just on the idea that if Gainwell plays and they bench Rashad Penny again, you void that bet, but at least you get the good price. Now it's down to 19-1, still like that. And then I always love a backup tight end. Jack Stoll 50-1, had 20% of the snaps. So that's what my first touchdown card looks like. Sean, what do you like first touchdown?
You sicko. Jack Stoll, sicko. I dig it though. Yeah, you're so right. Buying the penny stocks, a la Jordan Belfort, you have to do that. At 30-1, good grief, I definitely was not on that one. But 19-1, that's where I stand right now. So that's number one for me. And again, if Gainwell does play, I honestly don't believe he does play. It's a quick turnaround with the ribs.
Yeah.
So I think he will be out for this. But if he does, 8-1 as well. I had him on my card. And I'm going to disagree a little bit. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Viking. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored on Thursday night in this one. And Jordan Addison is who I'm looking at on the interior. Linebackers beat up. Safeties, we're guessing right now who's going to be out there. Will Blankenship be starting or not? So give me Jordan Addison on the slot. Maybe, Kirk Cousins finds him. Look it up, Jefferson. Hello, yeah, the nice slot there. 15-1.
Lenny Dykstra shout out there. No, I mean Addison, and it's weird to come into this Vikings game and be like, I'm not worried about Justin Jefferson, but I really think matchup wise, Hawkinson or maybe it's Addison because of how soft we were underneath the middle because of the injuries we're dealing with at the linebacker position. Jacoby Dean got put on the injured list there. To your point, Reed Blankenship banged up. I'm guessing Reed Blankenship's going to gut it out, but if he's out there, you're missing linebacker and safety, and you struggled. So I think Hawkinson, to me, and maybe it's Addison because again, similar area of the field, but I think that is a big concern for the Eagles defense. Kramer, raise your hand. What do you got?
Oh, this seemed so obvious. I watched Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki be the reason the Patriots had a chance in that game. TJ Hawkinson 17-1, Josh Oliver 55-1. Guess how many tight end targets there were in the first week for Minnesota? 2. 1 to Hawkinson, 1 to Josh Oliver.
Well, they're probably having similar conversations over there of like, hey, we paid Hawkinson all this money. We got to get him the ball.
I almost went +9. I almost just swapped in Garrett Wilson to Mr. Justin Jefferson, the favorite. But full tight end. I mean, your Eagles seem to have a glaring weakness defending these. Which, by the way, this might be a better pairing of tight ends than they faced last week. So good luck, Godspeed. There will be some points. And again, when you have a chance to take 2 starting running backs in the first touchdown market at these prices, double digits, you always do it.
It's crazy.
Penny, we all talked about it, but why are we not discussing Boston Scott?
No, he's interesting too.
Someone's getting the carry. I'm fading Swift because I don't think they trust him to run in the right fucking gap, like the same problem the Lions had.
Well, and the price is short too. And to your point, like they pulled Swift off in goal line.
They don't trust him because he dances around. This is like now it's team number 2, and by the way, another DOWG. But yeah, Boston Scott 16-1, Rashad Penny 19-1. That feels like the right formula. And what are they doing? Jalen Hurts plus 550. You're ruining Christmas.
I know. It used to be so fun. Get the a guy like Hurts. They would get it to like 9-1, 10-1. Get me interested at 5-1. It's tough to really get excited.
Get me interested.
What about some of these pick'ems? I'll kick off my first one here. Kirk Cousins lower 260.5 passing yards. First off, I mean the Kirk Cousins in prime time. It is a real thing. You know what it is? It's more so. It's a Monday night football thing. Than even a prime time. Although he's also not great on Thursday. He seems to do okay Saturday and Sunday. Either way, his average there for primetime games is low 230s. Last year he only had 221. I think they're missing their center who didn't practice today. Their guard is banged up. I think we're going to be able to get some pressure on him. So I'm going to go lower passing yards for Kirk Cousins. Sean, what do you like? What's a first pick 'em here you like?
Well, the first prop I'm looking at is AJ Brown. You know, going back to what we just saw in that Patriots game. Yeah, the Eagles did not. I think their longest pass play was 22 yards. They tried to convert that one play that was just out of bounds on AJ Brown. I think this is a huge spot for him. They're going to try and feed him the rock, and he's got the big play capabilities. So over 100. That one's over 72.5. But I'd even play the alternate line up to 100. Why not? 72.5 is minus 125. I went with DraftKings Sportsbook. I just think AJ Brown's gonna have a monster game. Oh, by the way, boys, I know you're used to it out there. Nice and sunny days out in Vegas. 75 and sunny for their home opener. So I think we're gonna see some, like I said, some balls in the air and some points scored on Thursday.
Well, and watching that Vikings game, I mean, Mike Evans had some good opportunities. Yeah. I think their cornerbacks are pretty soft, so I'm with you there. Kramer, what do you like here, pick 'em wise?
Yeah, I went. I just looked at the buy. They did some basic handicapping, and I saw that Baker was able to get 5 catches to Evans and 6 to Godwin, or I could be backwards there. Either way, does seem like AJ Brown's going to get the ball. I'm not as certain as you that Goddard's going to be force fed. I'm desperately afraid of all the times I drafted Dallas Goedert, that piece of garbage. So AJ Brown over 5.5 receptions. First one for me. That's the guy I think they force feed, because what I saw in the game as an objective football guy who knows ball, well, AJ Brown got open every play. Why they didn't throw it to him every play, I have no fucking clue.
And he caught it every time. Like I'm pretty sure
he's a good receiver. So I would. And throw
he's
it to
a
him
massive dude. He's just a tough matchup. I like the AJ Brown stuff as well. But I'll toss out the higher Dallas Goedert receiving yards, 42.5.
Oh, look at you.
I mean, they asked
You're getting
Hurts.
scared.
No, they asked Hurts in the press conference, "Hey, yo, what happens? What happens when a guy doesn't get a target? Do you talk to him?" And he's like, "Oh, they know they're good." And he kind of gave a wink to the camera. I think he's gonna get his. I like the matchup for them. So yeah, give me Dallas Goedert over 42.5 receiving yards. I think Goddard, AJ Brown though are going to be the two guys there as far as pass catchers. What about you, Sean? What else you got here?
Well, look, I went to the anytime touchdown, and we just talked about him with Jalen Hurts, and he was plus 125. You always love the plus money. Last week it didn't convert. Going back to last year, it's just something just crazy that he was always scoring a touchdown. So I'm going back to it. It's minus 115 on DK. Like I said, I just feel like the running back situation is too much up in the air. I expect points to be scored. They're going to be inside that red zone. And Jalen Hurts at home, probably going to try and put something on his shoulders, make up for that fumble that he had last week. Anytime touchdown, Jalen Hurts.
Love it.
He got so jacked up.
Get that tush push going. Ryan, don't be a hater. Come on. We're trying to celebrate Jalen Hurts. It's coming back.
6 games.
Can I ask you a question let me ask you a question about the tush push too. When the Eagles went for it on 4th down, which I didn't really have that big of an issue with, it would have been nicer if they got it. Why not run it? Why not just run Jalen Hurts to the outside? I didn't like throwing the football there.
No,
I didn't care if it's 4th and 5. Run it.
Yeah, it was 4th and 2, and to run a slant play when again they are so efficient running the ball for the most part. I mean, I would say that not a great game overall with the offensive line. I think Mailata didn't have like an ideal game. Maybe that's what happened, but. To call the slant route there, it wasn't.
Was it to Brown?
No, it's to Devonta Smith.
Wrong
which
guy.
again, if you are gonna run a 4th and 2 slant route, throw it to the guy who can box people out. I mean, Devonta Smith, very good route runner, but on something that short, you're just not gonna have a ton of space to work yourself.
They got all
open.
those reps too, catching the hot dog from the hot dog stand at Disneyland. Over the middle.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No idea. Devonta went and picked up the hot dogs and. Sorry, Jalen went and picked up the hot dogs and threw them to AJ Brown.
Some Disney trip.
They're BFFs. I assume that this was just common knowledge. I apologize.
You're in deeper, way deeper than the Sean's.
I apologize.
That's all right.
Kramer, what else you like?
Hawkinson. I don't see how he doesn't get to 47.5.
Okay.
Again, I think the linebackers are a problem, and we even in the game last week, we saw him go to Hawkinson on give up plays. Hey, we need 8 yards. Things aren't looking good. Let me just throw it to TJ 3 yards down the field. So I think he's going to be force fed. I think it's a mismatch. I mean, we saw it again. Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki are not. Neither one of those guys is TJ Hawkinson. And so I think Justin Jefferson, as he should be, is going to be the focus. Got to take him out of the game. And Hawkinson's going to have a lot of garbage. It's this every time that this Vikings team down the stretch had. I mean, you look at the Giants playoff game. Hawkinson has these monster games even when they're losing. And so I think I went yards just because I thought the linebackers for the Eagles really looked like trash. And again, like Mike Gesicki, not that good at football, and he was running loose. So I think Hawkinson has a massive game. Like I would play the alt here. This is the ladder game. I'm going ladder yardage, maybe receptions too. It's not shade, Sean. I think the Eagles probably win the game, but I don't know why you're shaking your head. Did you watch the tight ends?
No. I again,
you just can't say anything negative.
I said it. I said at the top of the segment, I'm worried about Hawkinson.
Right.
I'm
great
shaking
pick,
my
Ryan.
head because I'm not. Oh, what do you want me to compliment you?
You should compliment
the Eagles?
me. It's a great pick.
I'm not going to go that far, but
by the way, that number is through the roof right now. It was like minus 135, minus 140 at like 5 o'clock. It's up to minus 190 over 4.5 catches.
Oh, this is why you love
steam
underdogs.
is coming, Ryan.
This is why you love underdogs.
Sharps are going to be all over the under there.
Stop it.
No, it is interesting because of course it looks like Bradbury is going to be out in the concussion protocol.
Crazy.
Tough turnaround on a Thursday game, but I would imagine Slay is going to be locked in on Justin Jefferson. If you recall, last time Vikings played in Philly, Darius Slay had more interceptions than Justin Jefferson had catches. 2-1 he won that battle. So
wow,
can he run it back? I think obviously that's a huge task, but at least if they can limit him and then slide the rest of the coverage over to guys like Hawkinson, I think that's the way you you play it there and really just hope the D line can get to Cousins and fuck him up there. Jalen Hurts passing yards. Obviously, it's going to be an over here. I just think the Vikings secondary in particular can really be attacked. And yeah, AJ Brown, I'm on, and Dallas Goedert, I think, are just going to be tough guards for them.
So you'd rather take over 248.5 passing yards than higher than a half total yards on underdog?
Yeah,
I just want to get.
I guess they are running that promo, so yes, you are. I think they've limited you to $10. This is for guys looking to bet a little bit more than 10.
We got to pull back the curtain. We had an employee in the office. We were like, you got to get an underdog. They're doing this promo tonight for the Jets. It's a free. It's basically like this easy square to hit.
Free play.
Aaron Rodgers over a half yard.
They wanted to give you a free square, but they can't because it's like illegal or whatever. So they set it at something comically low. And also too, like if he gets hurt pregame, it voids, but he has to play.
90 seconds later.
Yeah, it is.
He got through the flag run out. It was the football that hurt.
Could there be something more Jetsian than just so much hype? Interviews with everyone, every station, running out with the American flag on 9/11 anniversary, and then just destroyed.
Yeah,
it was. Oh man,
the tweets were the best. The tweets were the best. The darkness retreat 2.0 into the blue tent. Oh, I love that. That was hysterical. Yeah,
it's just like it couldn't be more Jetsian because every time we're like, all right, it'll be different this year for the Jets. It can't happen once again, and then it does. And oh man, it's
a total fade to black Sopranos moment right there.
All right, Sean, one more prop here. Pick 'em. What do you got?
Well, I just want to say that I did have the Bills -1.5 yesterday, so I lost to Zach Wilson. It was just brutal. I just unbelievable. That's how I shut it down yesterday. Anyways, my final one. Look, the number's not available just yet, but I'm going. I'm a creature of habit. Jordan Addison. He's on every one of my fantasy teams. Delivered in the first week. I'm going with him. If he's anywhere near 60 yards, which I think he should be probably right around that mark, 60.5, 61.5. I'm taking the over on that one. Catches I'll stay away from, but I like the yards. Like I said, I like that situation going up against linebackers or the safety. The Eagles are completely dinged up, so I think he's going to be the guy that gets the rock the most because of Slay being on Jefferson. Give me Addison over yards.
Yeah, I think I saw a 58.5 out there.
58.5. Okay.
So yeah, I mean he was 4 for 61 at home against Tampa, but yeah, I mean it is the second receiver, the tight end is definitely worrisome for the Thursday night game. Kramer, what do you got?
Well, we got through this whole we're an interception shop, Sean.
Yes, we are.
We watched all of our favorites throw interceptions. Josh Allen all over the place. Which, by the way, we wondered if anyone bet Josh Allen to throw 3 interceptions.
Oh yeah.
Well, it turns out the Jets defensive back who made the 3 interceptions
made a bet on himself.
$250K. That's a hell of a same game parlay.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. So if you didn't see the graphic that was going around, apparently the cornerback that picked Josh Allen off 3 times in a row, he had an incentive for the season. If he got 3 catches, he got 3 interceptions. He got $250,000. He cashed it in game 1. So amazing. It's like hitting the first touchdown.
Oh, it's like hitting the slot machine 2 seconds into the Vegas trip. You've already it's like, what do I do?
Good to go. Just
go home. I'm just going to go home right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So let's go back to the hits.
Okay, what do you got?
Kirk Cousins didn't throw an interception in the first week.
I mean,
Sean.
he's due. He's so
on the
due.
road in Philly.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You like that?
Yeah, it is. I love it.
So again, the interception market's a little slower than some of these other markets to get all dried up. That one seems too easy.
Very. I'm with you 100%, Ryan. Anytime you can fade Kirk Cousins on the road in prime time, like no less. All right, so cooking up a DegensOnly parlay. Here's what I got. I got a Rashad Penny anytime touchdown, Dallas Goedert anytime touchdown, Boston Scott touchdown.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Hurts.
Stop it.
Hurts over 275.5 passing yards, 60-1.
Remember to gamble responsibly.
Wow.
It's great use of your bonus bets on something like this, but maybe I'm getting cute with Penny and Scott. But and we'll see. Maybe I'll tweak it once we know the inactives.
They're gonna
on
score
Thursday.
40, so no problem.
Yeah, we'll be all right. But the Goddard and the passing yards and Scott, I really like. And then stay tuned if I end up swapping Penny on Thursday there. Sean, do you got any parlays cooking up? Any sort of long shot stuff?
I like your style. I'm going 28-1 here on DK. I'm very similar, but big day for Jalen Hurts in the air with 300 plus. Did it last time they played last year. Home opener, 75 and sunny. Come on, over 300. We're gonna follow that up with, of course, AJ Brown alternate. I bounced that up to $1. The Eagles total points 27.5. I think team total was 28, so 27.5. Got that there. Vikings, unfortunately, Sean, catching the 7.5. I just don't.
No.
I don't have. That's where I lose the wager. I'm just gonna say I have confidence in everything else, but Vikings plus the 7.5. And finally, little flip side on this, under 14.5 first half points for the Vikings. All total 28-1. So yeah, a little shuffle in there. As I said, under in the first half, and I still like the Vikings to keep it close. Maybe a backdoor cover at the end with that hook 7.5.
I like it. It feels like you got a little emotional hedge in there where it hurts AJ Brown dominating, and then when the backdoor comes, you go, "Oh, I'm ready. I'm there. I'm there, like trying to catch that suspect. I'm there with my shotgun, ready to cash in."
Prepared.
Kramer, what do you got? What's the DegensOnly parlay?
All right, so I feel like there's a couple ways we can go about this. One, let's just do the simple one.
Yes.
Side little appetizer.
Okay.
Hawkinson 100 plus yards is plus 750. Standalone, just fuck it. That seems mispriced. Delicious, like a nice order of bruschetta. And then for the main course, Eagles defense 2 touchdowns, 60-1. Simple. I don't need 15 things on my plate. Just give me the Eagles defense. I watched Kirk Cousins try his best against fucking Todd Bowles in that defense.
I mean, he was tossing up some dust.
Oh my God. We've seen defenses look better than offenses. And I think one thing I heard Sirianni say this week was, my bad, guys. We played like a bunch of bitches because we didn't play in the preseason. Yeah. You came out soft because you weren't hitting in the preseason. So I have a feeling, and by the way, extra insider, remember that the center that is going to be out potentially for the Vikings was the guy who was getting owned by Dexter Lawrence in the playoffs. So much so he was clowning him about hugging him more than his wife. So if their backup is in, that's a problem. That's going to be a very easy matchup to destroy, and Kirk Cousins is going to have some serious props. I'll also be looking at the sack props here.
Kirk Cousins needs a good offensive line. He's a statue back there. So yeah, I'm with you. Let's go.
What do you think they did with the bling for the first game? They didn't take it out. So
don't bring it on. Don't bring it on the flight, Kirk. You're not going to need it.
Give it to me.
Sean, appreciate you coming on the show.
Anytime, gentlemen.
Tell people where they can check you out.
I appreciate the invite. Obviously, big fan of you guys, and I'm still drying out from that Vegas trip 3 weeks ago. But
hashtag DegensOnly.
Yeah,
DegensOnly atmosphere out there.
Good Lord. Did I tell you I bought fake weed? Yeah, we'll save that for another day.
In a state where weed is legal, I got to hear the whole.
Hey man, it was 3 o'clock in the morning on night one. I was drinking from like 11 in the morning on, and Fremont Street got me. All right,
now, got me. It happens to the best of us. Same things happen to me in Cabo. Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
It happened to me in Canada once. He had it like wrapped up in this thing, and then it was just like the saddest Russian nesting doll where I kept unopening and opening, and then it was just like a sock at the end. I'm like, motherfucker.
It was that store right next to Circa, right there in Fremont. And the place has a security guard, and it's got all this weed. It's got bongs everywhere. And then the girl, she even upsold me. She was like, "Oh, you like this one? You should get this one." I'm like, "You got to be." And I was winning. Anyways, I know better now. Please catch me Fox Sports Radio to Gambler in Philly. We're live 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Big day for us on Thursday. Can't wait. Hopefully talking about an Eagles game, Eagles victory on Friday.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it, Sean. And let's go Birds.
Anyways, boys, thank you very much. And I'll be on the lookout for this escaped convict.
All right. Keep your eyes
Cheers,
peeled
man.
There.
Peace, guys.
maybe you're heading to that game, or you're looking to get some last minute tickets to the Eagles at Vikings. Game Time is where you go. Download the Game Time app, use the promo code SGPN, get $20 off. Already a great start to the experience there. And again, Game Time has a low price guarantee. I mean, maybe you're one of those guys waiting to the last second. I know that's happened to me a number of times. Oh, when am I actually going to get the tickets? Should I pull the trigger? I mean, I'm looking at some of these tickets here, and again, very, very good price. I mean, if you can find a cheaper row or a cheaper price row and section, they will credit you 110%. Again, they're saying that because they know you can't find better deals. They even have some of these, they call them flash deals exclusive to Game Time, where you can really rack up some savings. Again, they're trying to unload some tickets last second. Perfect if you're making last second plans to go to the game. GameTime.co or download the Game Time app. Use the code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create the account. Use the code SGPN for $20 off. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Love this tool. Again, it is a parlay optimizer. Are you kidding me? This thing is badass. It pulls a ton of data, and I was just watching the video on like how to really dial it in. Ryan, you can go, so it'll tell you like the expected value of your parlay. Essentially, is it a good bet or is it not? It'll shop all the places where that price is offered, telling you kind of where to get the best price. And then you can even go like, all right, hey, do I want to look at, let's say, Kirk Cousins last 10 games, or do I want to go entire career Kirk Cousins? And I've been going in deep on the parlay optimizer. It is a lot of fun to put that together. And again, player props, parlay games, game lines, they have you covered. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Joining us on the line, co-founder and CEO of ProphetExchange, Dean Sisun. What's happening, Dean?
Sean, thanks for having me on. Not much. Feels good that football is back.
Yes. NFL week 1 in the books. I know you're a Dolphins fan. Shout out to Big Rob, who's a listener and always chirping in our mentions anytime we doubt the Dolphins, and then the Dolphins have a good game. I mean, they were, I kept going back and forth on like my preseason take of the Dolphins, but I mean, you know, Tyreek Hill just ran past everyone. That's just gotta be awesome watching that game.
It is so fun having Tyreek Hill on your team and just him running past I mean, he creates more space like by orders of magnitude than anyone else in the league. I mean, Tua hits him literally no problem, and you can say what you want about him, but clearly he's not the strongest QB in the league. He's not the weakest either. But if he's throwing a Tyreek Hill, no problem. I mean, man, it's just he's so good.
Honestly, I was saying this past weekend. I would like someone to do a super cut of all the long passes that Tyreek Hill had from Patrick Mahomes to see how many times it looks like he underthrew him as well.
Yeah, I think the problem is Tyreek Hill is just too fast. So even if you have a decent throw, he's kind of coming back for the ball.
Imagine what it would look like to try to guard him. Like, how quickly could he separate by 10 yards on you?
Well, and if you listen to the
3 seconds,
yeah, if you listen to the Dolphins press conference, I think it was like Mike McDaniel or even Tyreek Hill was saying how this year he's like trying to run more routes, where last year he was just running. So, man, if he improves as a route runner, I think the AFC East is certainly in trouble there. I mean, now with Zach Wilson being the quarterback for the Jets for the rest of the year, that's got to be
every fan of every other team in the division is just like look
at their chops.
I'm from New York, and I mean, we'll talk about Prophet, but a lot of people from our company are from New York, and I hate the Jets with every ounce of my being, because growing up, all of my friends were Jets fans and I was a Dolphins fan, and it was almost like pure torture. But even I felt bad when I saw that happen. I was like, wow, that's just it's just so Jets, horrible for Aaron Rodgers, but like the Jets just have this dark cloud over them.
I mean, he just did every interview. Star of Hard Knocks runs out with the American flag. Every sort of, oh hey, bonus bet. Aaron Rodgers just to complete one pass. This cashes. Every single. The entire industry, the pregame, everyone was all in.
Greatest mush of all time.
It was.
And then poof, it just gone.
Yes,
poof.
Crazy. Of course, we're talking a little bit of Prophet Exchange. You founded Prophet Exchange. If the listeners are in Jersey, they've probably already heard some of the reads that we've been doing for Prophet Exchange. But it's a really cool concept. It's a betting exchange where instead of just betting the house, you're betting peer to peer, saving yourself some vig there. And you guys just tweeted out. I retweeted it or re-xed it or reposted.
You get up with the new X terminology.
But basically breaking down, hey, if you're using a traditional sports book, this is what the money line paid out. If you're using Prophet Exchange, this is what the money line paid out. And you see the savings. So walk us through how you started Prophet Exchange, where you came up with the idea, and just kind of how it works if people aren't familiar.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll walk you guys through the story. We met a long time ago, Sean.
Oh yeah.
Right back, right when we started this. I've seen you guys have clearly grown a lot too, because I think when we initially spoke, we might have just been on the phone or something. And now I see this super legitimate studio.
Yeah, no, definitely.
The come up, baby.
Probably called into our Skype number in some random ass garage.
One of our garages for sure.
But anyway, so back then we had an idea for a secondary marketplace for sports bets, meaning if I place a bet, let's say I place a bet on the Jets to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And they start at 20 to, sorry, I had to take the shot. They started 20-1 and now they're 100-1, right? My bet has gone down severely in value. It's worse off. So instead of letting that ride and go to zero, I could sell it out. Or on the flip side, if I buy the Jets at 20-1 and then they move to 10-1, my bet goes up 2x in value. I can go sell it. That was the initial idea because I went to university in Nashville. I went to Vanderbilt and I hopped on the Nashville Predators bandwagon back in 2017.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't know anything about hockey at the time. I put $100 on them to win it at 30-1. They swept Blackhawks in the first round, and immediately their odds dove to 5-1. And my first thought was, could we treat this like an asset and trade it like an option on an options market or an options exchange? But the more I looked into it, that wasn't possible. Anyway, let's fast forward to today. We initially set out to do that idea in the UK. We found out that a much better idea and a much more, let's call it democratic, inclusive idea was a pure peer-to-peer betting exchange. Meaning if, Sean, me and you wanted to bet on Eagles Vikings, which sounds like we might, if we wanted to bet on Eagles Vikings and I want Vikings +7, you want Eagles -7, I could bet that at even odds. You bet that at even odds. We're both getting a better price than what the sportsbook offers at -110. So really all we're doing, and to tie up the story here, all we're doing is aggregating user opinions on an exchange so people can bet against one another at better prices on both sides.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like when you lay it out like that, it does. I mean, the great example is heads or tails at your Super Bowl party.
Oh no.
Where if you bet it on your book, it's like -105. But if I just bet Ryan, who always takes tails, even though heads is the sharp side, then we're getting even money.
Yeah, I don't want to throw shade at an old sponsor, but I remember once we had a sponsor that had -115 for heads tails.
Come on, that's
just crooked. So let me ask you: was the exploration into the UK / Europe what told you betting exchanges are the future?
I saw how popular they were there, and I saw the wide range of, let's call it like consumer profiles on the betting spectrum that use betting exchanges out there. Now it's a little different in the US because it's state by state legislation and we have to move into each state separately. That's why we're just live in New Jersey right now. But anyone from your Joe Schmo at the bar to your, let's call it super sharp quant was using the betting exchanges. And once I saw that, I said, holy cow, like this is the future. Like this is what it's going to look like in the US someday. And then I became a power user. My co-founder became a power user of Betfair and Smarkets and the other exchanges out there. Saw what our product was doing, said, we could probably do this in the US, Americanize it, clean up their mistakes and try to launch it out here and try to create the future. So yeah, that was the moment I said to myself, this is it.
Now, as far as like the offering, I let's say I'm in Jersey, I head over to Profit Exchange, I get signed up. What am I looking at, like inventory wise? Let's say for this Eagles Vikings game, is it hard maybe sometimes to find other sides to certain bets, or what does the market kind of look like on like say a primetime NFL game?
You know, there's so many haters out there that are like, oh, how are you going to make any of these markets? How are people going to bet against one another? I'm like, man, I'm trying to help you. Like, I'm trying to get better prices for everyone. But that aside, that is a problem, right? Like, you open up the exchange and it's like, all right, everyone come bet, and no one's there, right? Because you're opening it up on day one. So if you have a supply problem, how do you create the supply problem? I use this a lot in my pitches, and something that I read about and I point to is the Uber Lyft example.
Yeah,
I know we're on a sports betting podcast, but also only speak about Uber and Lyft very briefly. But Lyft, what they did to compete with Uber in the early days, because they had no riders, no people who wanted to get in the cars with drivers, was they paid their drivers to sit there, and when a rider would come, they would have a good experience because the driver was there ready for them to go. So they solved the supply side of the exchange or their marketplace by overinflating the supply side and paying them. So what we did for that equivalent is we have market makers.
Oh, nice. Fancy
term for people and entities who put up a lot of money across a lot of different markets on our sports betting site. It's basically like people being their own book. It's the best way to think about it.
Yeah.
And what we do is we offer them incentives to come in and make all these markets across all of these events and all of these different times on all these sports.
That's awesome. Yeah, because Ryan and I are considering putting market makers in our Twitter profiles, but it's good to know we could actually have that option. And I guess to your point, like that, they set the market there, create a bunch more opportunities for people just signing up, and plenty of action to get down.
A guy like me maybe looking to get down for six figures on the Giants this weekend, tons of value.
Yeah,
making markets.
I mean, if you have a death wish, you can. I'll house your Giants action this week.
Oh no,
for six figures.
No.
Well, that's
no DJ slander, please.
That's interesting. I know there's always a ton of regulations with these things, but are you allowed to be a user as well if you're in the state of New Jersey, or how does that work? If you found the exchange, you can also be in the exchange.
No, unfortunately, I cannot. Which is, let's call it very Robin Hood of me, right? I can't do. All
You're eating the juice for everyone else,
Sean,
so we appreciate Dean fighting the good fight.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yes. But yeah, you mentioned the Vikings, Eagles. You like the Vikings catching 7. So I imagine again, if you were not the founder, you'd be able to go on Bet Profit, find Vikings, and then not have to lay the whatever it's -115, -110, whatever it is, and get your +7 bet in there, right?
Exactly. I do very much like the Vikings this week. Short week 2. Love it.
Now make your case for Kirk Cousins in prime time on the road Thursday night, and that offensive line blocking studs like Jalen Carter. Are you not worried about Jalen Carter and then the Eagles offense taking advantage of that Vikings secondary?
I think the Vikings moved the ball really well last week. This is normally what I like to bet on, is teams who move the ball really well and can't capitalize inside the 10, 15 yard line. And that is exactly what happened to the Vikings last week, or who just had mismanagement, like inside the 2 minutes of each half. That's what I like. I think Kirk Cousins is I think he's fine. I really do. Prime time, obviously he loses all the time. That doesn't mean he doesn't cover all the time. I don't know what his record is against spread on prime time, but really,
It is slowly getting better. I want to. I don't want to have to admit to it. I pitched Daniel Jones as the new Kirk Cousins because he's now 1-11 straight up, 5-7 ATS. So he's been hanging around.
These strays are getting old.
What about the rest of week 2? I know it's a little early in the week here, but anything else jumping out at you?
Oh, all the time. Come on, I'm staring at these lines all day long.
That has to be cool to just see, like, fire up Profit Exchange and just see, like, hey, where are people putting their? Because you always see the betting splits and we talk about them and stuff like this, but in a market like this, you actually know
it's real.
These people are putting this many dollars up, and as an opportunity to bet against.
Which, by the way, Sean, there is over $1,300 of available liquidity on Eagles -7 +100 right now. So.
See, yeah, like why would you not? Yeah, great opportunity. I'm gonna fly to New Jersey and get in.
Sean might take a plane and subsidize the plane ticket on Eagles.
Yeah, I mean
-7.
the juice I'm going to be laying on this is it will balance out. It'll be a plus EV strategy.
Call my guy at Teterboro. We'll get you sorted out.
Get taken care of. So yeah, I guess I mean I want to hear what you like, but what is the exchange like for week 2, and like what's kind of unbalanced right now?
So what's really cool about the exchange is, like you just said, Ryan, you can see the money that's coming in. Like it's not even me who can look in the back end and see what users on what outcome, but you can you can click into a market and see all the offers that are up and how much money is on each one, which is really cool. Early action. I might as well just like pull this up right here with you. Let's see. We've got big bets on the 49ers, it looks like, which is funny because I love the Rams +8. So I hope my users are all incorrect. That was actually going to be my top pick.
Road division favorite. What could go wrong?
Right. Yeah, exactly. By more than a touchdown.
Yeah. No, that line jumped out at me.
Honestly, there's nothing crazy right now. I see the Bucks a little tilted, but other than that, I think it's pretty early. So it's all pretty balanced. But me, class A sharp over here, obviously, love the Rams, love the Rams +8. And I'll probably also take, Ryan, you'll like this. I'll take the Giants -5, because I hate myself and I'm going to torture myself during that game.
Bounce back spot for the G-men.
And the Broncos. I'm going to take the Broncos -3.5.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, that was one when we did our team previews. That was one that jumped out because I thought
Coronation Gatorade dump.
Yeah, I thought like Washington would be feeling themselves. They would get the win, maybe not the cover, but maybe they bounce back a little bit. But Broncos at home early on in the season is usually a pretty good spot there. Now I was
gonna say I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys like because first of all, I'm always looking for more information, but also on that Broncos pick, second week back to back at home, Washington traveling for the first time. I don't know. Washington feels a bit like a trap.
Early elevation. I mean, in general, if Denver's at home week 1 or 2, I'm probably gonna look to find a reason to like it.
Yeah, no, I mean that Denver defense, I thought still, even though they lost. I mean, the
Raiders have their number. They're at 5 straight against the Raiders.
They only let up 17 points. I think that defense is going to feast on Sam Howell making his first road start. I think that's a really non-conference road spot. I think that's a really tough spot. And then, I mean,
cluster injuries. That's the theme.
I haven't run my model, but Rams +8 feels pretty sharp. I'm surprised. I guess people thought it was kind of a fluke win over Seattle and that they're not buying. I mean, again, I had Rams as my money line dog last week, so I watched a lot of that game, and I thought Stafford looked really sharp, was stepping up at the pocket. I mean, it's going to come down to the 49ers D line against that Rams offensive line, but 8 points in a division game for a team that doesn't suck, I think is a pretty big number to hang.
I was so surprised when it came. It came out at 7. And I like you. That was my biggest bet of last week was the Rams +5.5, and I thought that looked great. I mean, they went on the road. Stafford looked great. They won by 2 touchdowns. They didn't really make any mistakes. And then it jumped to 8, and I was like, "What? I don't really understand what's going on." So,
no, yeah,
I'm with you.
it's pretty suspicious. Now, also, I know you guys have besides the exchange, you also are working on Profit Boosts. Walk people through what that is.
Yes. So it is, I'll call it an exchange-like mechanism that you can only do on an exchange. Obviously, profit boosts at DraftKings, FanDuel, whoever you may take your profit boosts at, or your odds boosts at, I should say. Sorry. What they do is they take an event and they boost the odds, right? Simple as that. They'll take an event from even odds and boost it to 2 to 1. What we can do on Profit is say, oh, okay, because if you're boosting the odds of a certain outcome, what we can do is offer the other side for you to take. And no matter what happens, you just lock in a profit. You're just arbitraging that odds boost. We call it a little double entendre profit boost. So for example, Max Scherzer right now is up on our site to throw 8 strikeouts. I don't know what that's boosted on Tipico price wise, but you can bet the other side on our site, no side, and make a profit.
See
So
that is being able to bet no. That unlocks a lot of interesting opportunities.
Yeah, no, and then obviously being in New Jersey, if you are listening to New Jersey, you haven't signed up. What are you waiting for? Because again, there's a bunch of other books out there that you could kind of sign up and find those sweet arbitrage opportunities with between Profit Boosts.
Can we
and
get
Profit
an
Exchange?
Giants won't win another game, or Giants will win another game? No, give me the no side of that.
Now, as far as like making a market, like let's say I wanted to throw out like Zach Wilson. I guess Zach Wilson MVP, or if you throw out something crazy, do you have the ability to just hang that as a user and put it out there and set your own price, or how does that work?
So we have custom markets. It's a good question. And someone actually wrote in today, they want to take the Rays to win the division, but they want a better price at than sportsbooks are offering them. And we didn't have that market up. So we put the market up for them. If you want to put up a crazy market and house that side, you can absolutely do that. Ryan, I don't know if how serious you are about putting up the Giants not winning another game. But if you want to do that, you write into us, and then you can do that. I guess you'd be like hedging life, Ryan. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan getting Caleb Williams. He would be it would be talking himself.
I didn't see that version of the season coming. I always did hear it was a 2-year rebuild.
All right. Well, Dean, appreciate you calling in. Make sure if you're in New Jersey, sign up for Profit Exchange. Follow him on Twitter at PROPHET Exchange, and Profit Boosts as well at PROPHET Boosts. Dean, appreciate the time, and best of luck with the exchange, man.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk.
Well, I might have turned I apologize. I might have turned our mics on.
All right. All are our mics back.
We are back.
All right. We're back.
Football's back.
Football's back,
Kind
man.
of.
We got a shout out again to Dean and Sean for calling into the show. Good times. And we got a great week of shows coming up. Obviously, NFL picks, DFS, props. We got the VSiN show Friday night live from the Circa Las Vegas, 9:00 Pacific, YouTube TV, VSiN.com. Again, appreciate all the support on the Patreon. That has been awesome, guys. Really huge. Just huge in keeping the pirate ship going, keeping the content train alive and well. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. And we got our weekly pick'em just for the Patreon, giving out cash and prizes every week. So much going on. YouTube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Smash that subscribe button.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
I think Vikings can slay birds.
Kramer, let it ride.